tutorial. When you're ready, you're going to open up a Google Sheets or Google Slides, which is this one, and then you're going to find the second slide of this tutorial, and you can click the download the practice sheets here. So if you click right there, this will open up and it'll ask you to make a copy and make a copy of it, and this will be the one that you're going to be working off of. Okay, yours is going to look like this, and this is where you're going to start working from. So you're going to be learning about Google Sheets and why we use it, which is basically to collect data in an organized manner, organize and reorganize that data to make decisions quickly, visually see that data in an easy to digest way, and then automate the process of some of that data collection. Okay, so this first step that we're going to be working on is text wrap and text direction, changing your font, and then you can also resize cells all at one time together, which is something that you may not already know how to do. So one of our first steps is text wrapping. Okay, so we are going to start off at this top up here. So we're going to click in one of these cells here, and then we can either drag all the way over like that, or you can click and then hold shift and click on that last cell, and it will highlight all of these for you. And once these are all selected, okay, you can go up to your format up here, go down to wrapping in the drop down, and then click on wrap. And what that will do is make it to where all of your text will fit inside of that cell. Now we can also do some other fun stuff. Okay, we can tilt our text, which I like to do for just our top section up here, just to kind of give it a different look to separate it from the other rows that we have here. So once it's selected, which we just kind of left it as it is, we can go up to Format. We can go down here on Rotation here, and then we are going to, I like Tilt Up. Now at this point, for some reason, it decided to squish everything here. So we're going to go over to here into our number 1 and number 2 in this row, and when your arrow becomes a tiny black little up arrow like that, that's great. And then we can pull it down to about 1.5 there, and now it looks like this. Let me pull it down just a little bit further. There we go. Okay, now we can also kind of adjust these here as well. First, let's do this real quick. So we're going to click on our cell here, hold shift, click our last cell, and we can do things like change the color of our text, change the color of our cell, which we're going to work on and look at later, make it italic or bold. Let's just make it bold for this one. Okay. We can also alter it. So we're going to go and take a look at this here, and we're going to click on the letters up here. Okay. And we can also now go all the way over to this one, hold shift and click. And what I want to do is I want to shift all of these cells and make them smaller to where they're closer to this G right here. But I don't want to do it one at a time. I want to do it to where they all do the same thing. So as long as you click on the letters up here, which is going to be great, we can then grab one of these and move it, and then all of them will readjust at the same time, but you have to do it on either the letters or the numbers. Okay, so let's also go over to here. I want to make these look a little different, so I'm going to click here and then click that bottom one by holding shift, and it will select all of them. Now that we have all of this text, I would like to change the font itself. I like this one. That one looks like one of those old case files or whatever from the movies and is a detective, like a typewriter. But now again, you can change this. I want to give them each just a little bit of space here. So I click on the number 2, move down here to the number 19, and I move it to in between two of those cells. And then I just shift it down just a little bit, and that gives a little bit more breathing room. Also, I just want to change just one of these, and I want it to go and be the size, that first cell here, the size of the longest name. So I move up to here at the letters in between, click and then drag it out. And now that first cell will be the size of the letters. You'll have all of these now be slanted and bolded. So we've learned how to change the text to look differently, and we've also learned to alter each of the cells' sizes, and we can alter a lot of their sizes all at the same time as well. So let's color it. Now we could go in and click here and then hold shift and click the other ones, and we can go up to this fill color and we could change that if we wanted to, and that would allow this to look different than the rest of this. Now you could go ahead and do that. I'm not going to because I have something a little different. So I'm going to hold Command and then Z, and I'm going to click this first one, and we're going to select all of this so I know I'm at K here. I'm going to scroll down all the way to here, and I'm going to hold shift and click, and that will select everything for me. Okay. Now I'm going to make it to where this is easier to separate each of the people when you're working on this, and bold that top just like we did before with a bold color. Okay, so now that we've done that at the above bar, you can change the color to a better part, or to view it better. Okay, so what we're going to do is on the toolbar, find your format here. You can go down here and click alternating colors. And you will notice that you now have this over here, this alternating colors tab, and it has alternating colors all of your stuff. So it takes this top one and then even the others. So I don't want to do gray. Let's do a cool green here. So I can now X out of that and check this out, and now all of them are very separated. So it's easier so you don't accidentally put scores into the wrong rows, and your top row up here of what your major things are also in a bolder color. So pick whatever color you want and we can move on. So we're going to be working on numbers here. So let's just say we have here somebody got a 90% on there, but you click 90 and it's just a number. So we don't want that. We want these as percents. So we can change these to be either currency, percents, or we can even move decimals here. Okay? So what we're going to do, again, click on that first cell. We know we're on K. Scroll down here, and I can click on that one right there, and it will select all of them. And I want to turn these into percent. So I'm going to click here, percent. So now when I go in here and click again and I type 90, it will turn it into a 90%. Okay? All right. So we just made them all 90%. Now I want to show you how to lock. So if you notice when we scroll down, we lose some of those. Up here we lose all of the heading up here. So when we're like, which unit test was that over here? I don't remember. We can lock that also if yours goes further out this way and you need to scroll this way as well. We want to be able to, oh come on. We want to be able to leave the names as well. So to do this, let's lock this first. So we click on the number 1, which will highlight the entire row here. Okay. So we are going to right click or two-finger click on that. We can go down here to view more row actions, and we're going to freeze up to row 1. Now that we do that, anytime we scroll down, we keep this there. Likewise, we want to keep all the names as well. We can click on the letter A. We can right click or two-finger click, go down to view more column actions. Likewise, you can just click the down arrow as well. View more column actions and freeze up to column A. Now if we want to scroll to the side over here, we can freeze those names. So we can freeze everything up here and freeze everything over here. So that'll help you out when you're working in your sheets. Now what's cool is we can also create formulas or code stuff in here without actually learning how to code. So you can do lots of fun stuff and have the computer do all of the math equations for us so that we don't have to. In the cell that you want, so we're going to go over here to this one, we're going to want it to do the average for us. You can do average. I also like having it do the sum or adding everything for you as well. But for this case, we're going to be working with averages. Okay, so we click on this cell right here. If you go up here, this is our functions, which tells us this is how we do our auto stuff. So we can click here on functions, like it says sum, which is awesome, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use the average of this one today. Okay, so it's going to give you these little brackets here. So we're going to enter a value. Well, we don't even have to know what to do for our values. We're just going to click. So that gives us our first one. If you hold shift and go over to your last one in here and you click there, it will put it in there for you. So it's going to give you a range of this cell to this cell for that student. Make sure that it ends in a parentheses. Okay, we can click out of it. Nope, don't click out of it. My bad. Don't do that. So we're going to try this again. Sorry. Average. We're going to click here. Hold shift, go to your last one, and then we're going to hit enter. And it will put in your average for you. Now, we also really want all of the other ones, and I don't want to have to redo that for all of them. So what we can do is we can click on that one, Command C, or right click and copy, and that will then copy the formula that we just pasted. Click below it. I will scroll down, hold shift, click on the bottom one in this column here, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to press Command V on a Mac, and it will paste all of those. Now these will look like they have errors, but that is okay. It's because they don't have any values yet. So when you go to put in your scores, let's say 80% in here, it will then put in the average for each of those. So we go over here to our friend Brett and type in percentages, and you'll see that the average will auto update for you. So we did really well on that one and then terrible on the rest apparently. There we go. So I'm just going to fill these in all the way across. Did a lot better on that one. Let's give him another 80. So now it will give you an average of what that student's score is as you put them in. And you can do that for all of your students. You don't have to do them all now, but I do recommend you put in a few across so that you can see how that average works. And then, like I said, it will do that for all of them for you since you copied and pasted that in there. And they will populate once you do that, or once you insert your first one. Okay? So insert some scores, watch it work out. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is learn some conditional formatting. This is one of my favorite things, besides using your functions to have it auto-populate equations for you. The next one that I have is conditional formatting, which is to create actions that then activate when certain conditions are met, and then learn how to copy that to the other cells. So on your second sheet, and to get there, you just go down to the bottom down here. You see you have your first one. This is your second one. Okay, we can click on it, and you'll see that it is already filled out, but it's missing this pass or fail over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is click under the pass or fail right here. Okay, and what you're going to do is take a look at the toolbar up here. We're going to go up to Format here. Okay, and then I want you to go down and click on Conditional Formatting, and a dialog box will appear on the right hand of your screen. Okay, so in this, we're going to look at the formula rules here. Formula rules. This is where everything does its magic. Okay, so we're going to over here. If it says format cells if. Okay. So I normally, my favorite thing in here is use these greater than less thans, but that's because we usually have numbers. Today we're going to be doing it with text, so just know that you can do that with numbers here, with certain dates, but we're going to do this. We're going to say text is exactly. Okay. Now in the value for formula here, we're going to type the word pass. Pass. Okay. Now, anytime we text the word pass in here, it's going to format this cell to be a certain color. So how do we do that? If you go to this paint bucket tool down here, you can just choose whatever color you want. I'm just going to choose a better shade of green because I don't like the green that they have. That's just me. You can actually select any color you want. I'm not going to be there to judge you, so you do you. Okay, but we're not done because we also have a what happens if we click on fail. So we have one rule in here. We need to add a second rule that does another thing. So we're going to add another rule here. We're going to keep it as text is exactly, but this time we're going to type in the words fail right underneath the format rules part here. But we don't want it to be green. We want it to be another color. Again, you could do any color you want. I'm going to choose red. I'm going to choose this red. We're going to do more crimson red. And when we are ready, we just click done, and you can see that your rules are right here. Okay. So the thing is we have this cell here ready to go, but none of the other cells are. So just like our other one where we could copy our formulas that we did, we can also copy the conditional formatting. So while we're here, we can right click and copy, or Control C. Click the cell underneath it, scroll all the way down here to this one, hold Shift and click it to select everything here. We're going to, you can right click, nope, don't right click, my bad. Let's try that again. Scroll all the way down with all that selected. I'm going to Command V, or you can go up here and edit and then paste. And what it did is now every single cell that we did that with now has that conditional formatting rules. Okay, so let's test it out. We're going to look at this and we see a 60%. I guess D's get degrees, right? So we're going to type in pass. Okay, and there we go. It turns green because it is a pass. We passed it. Okay. Now, let's try out, let's go to this one. 30% is a fail, so we'll type fail here. And notice that it turns red. Okay. So now you can go through and do that and try it out and take a look at the grades and do that to test it out for yourself. Ooh, 7%. So now if you want to take your data and make it look more organized, so if you look at this, you got a whole bunch of different students who took a test and they scored certain scores on here. Okay, but we want to organize this to where we can understand it better. So let's say we want to take a look at our students and group them together because each student took multiple tests. So what we can do is go over here to the letters. We can right click, or we can just click the drop down arrow, and we see this thing that says sort sheet A to Z. So let's do that. Let's sort your sheet A to Z. So let's click on that. And what that will do was we'll take all of these right here and sort them by either letter or number order. So if you look at this now, we have all of Aaron Ronson's tests. Say that he took social studies, reading, and science, points scored, and percent grade of the activity. And now we can organize it by all of their tests, and we can see each of those students. Now, if we just want to take a look at each test itself, so we can go over here, click on this, and we can sort the sheet A to Z just by test name too. Now we can look at just the math tests together, just the reading tests together, and just the science and social studies. So if you want to do it that way, that is also great. You can come up here and look at the points scored. So you can do score A to Z. Now you can look at the lowest to highest, or you can do Z to A, and you can do highest to lowest as well. And that will work for these. And if you wanted to, you can do these ones as well and sort A to Z, and it will give you all the fails together and then all the passes together and then who did that for each of those tests. So that is a great way to reorganize your sheet for it to be able to see it better. You can also work on multiple sheets here. So notice we have these down here, 1 and 2. Well, what if you want to do another one? Let's say you have already done this one right here, and this is just for semester 1, right? And you want to do a second semester. So you go down here, click on the plus to add a new sheet. It will bring it up here, okay? You can move it around if you want. You can click the down arrow to name it. You can rename it quarter 2, semester 2, do whatever you want. So if you go back to this first sheet here, you can click here, scroll all the way down, hold shift, and click here. Command C to copy all of that. We can go to our other sheet that we just created for semester 2. Click on that first cell there and paste it. Now, oh, it did not do any of our formatting here. So let's see if we can try that again. Let's do paste special and see, did that work? Nope. Come on. We paste that. Uh-oh, we may have to do a little bit of extra work here. Click on these. We know how to do this. We just did it. There we go. So you can click here all the way to there. And we can also change these back. And we're good to go. Now what we can do is get rid of and delete all of this stuff, which is the scores that they entered. Start from 0, and we can go in and rename this one. Click in your box here, go up to this up here. We can rename that. That was Unit 8. We can start off at Unit 9, and then we can go through and do that with all of these to continue our work. And you now have a new template to start putting in new assessments with all of the stuff that you already had ahead of time ready to go. And voila, you have a new template and another sheet down here, and you can just keep moving on with as many as you want. If you want to do by student down here, if you want to do by subject, if you want to do it by unit, however you want to do it, but you can create a whole bunch of them by copying and pasting each of these onto your new ones and keep going. So you have a lot to work with. You've learned how to do a lot in here. I hope this helps. I hope you're able to work through and collect data and access it easily and be able to report with it easily and use it to help you make decisions in your classroom.